The European Banking Authority (EBA) has confirmed it has fallen victim to the ongoing Microsoft Exchange attacks. With a total of 4 highly valuable zero-day exploits, previously unreported vulnerabilities that give cybercriminals a head start in any attack campaign, the attacks against on-premises Microsoft Exchange servers were always going to be a big deal. Those initial attacks, which prompted Microsoft to publish an emergency out-of-band security update, were attributed to a nation-state-sponsored group identified as Hafnium. The nation in question is China. However, Microsoft has now confirmed that it continues to see increased use of these vulnerabilities in attacks targeting unpatched systems by multiple malicious actors beyond Hafnium. As I reported on March 6, credible sources were suggesting that the attacks against vulnerable Microsoft Exchange servers were thought to have compromised hundreds of thousands of servers, more than 30,000 in the US alone. One of those attacked outside of the US was the European Union's banking regulator, the European Banking Authority. On March 7, the EBA issued a statement confirming that it had been the subject of a cyber attack against its Microsoft Exchange servers. While stating that a full investigation was underway, the EBA went on to add, as the vulnerability is related to the EBA's email servers, access to personal data through emails held on that servers may have been obtained by the attacker. The EBA is working to identify what, if any, data was accessed. Where appropriate, the EBA will provide information on measures that data subjects might take to mitigate possible adverse effects. As a precautionary measure, the EBA has decided to take its email systems offline. Further information will be made available in due course. Further information was, indeed, made available by way of an update on March 8. The EBA investigation is still ongoing and we are deploying additional security measures and close monitoring in view of restoring the full functionality of the email servers, it read. At this stage, the EBA email infrastructure has been secured and our analyses suggest that no data extraction has been performed and we have no indication to think that the breach has gone beyond our email servers. The exploitation of the 0 days in question required some specific conditions and thus raises questions what exactly happened at the EBA, Ilya Kolochenko, chief architect at ImmunoWeb, said. Another key question is when exactly the EBA was compromised? Kolochenko points out that if the intrusion happened after the disclosure but prior to the emergency patch, the vulnerable systems should have been immediately disconnected to prevent exploitation in the wild. The EBA is likely not the last victim of this hacking campaign, he warns, and more public authorities may disclose incidents stemming from exploitation of the same vulnerabilities. I have approached the EBA for further comment.